certain. But are you ever lost if you follow your heart? You say, called away, find the best in every move we make. Bound to be a mess, I'm really certain. But you'll never know till you follow your heart. You say, for the first time, from the bird's eye, coming into view, it changes everything. From the coastline, with a sure sign, caution to the wind, you hear in front of me loud. I've never wanted anything more. 'Cause for the first time, I found something that will last. Butterflies fade, staring down the face of give and take. Bound to leave a mess, I'm barely certain. You never really know until it's falling apart. They say, miles away, made the best of every move we've made. Bound to see the rest foolishly certain. And we'll always know when we are following hard. We'll say, for the first time, from the bird's eye, coming into view, it changes everything. From the coastline, with a sure sign, caution to the wind, you hear in front of me loud. I've never wanted anything more. 'Cause for the first time, I found something that will last. I've never wanted anything more. 'Cause for the first time, I found something that will last. I found something that will last. I found something. One day and one step further, one day and one step further, one day at a time.
11:11, and we are live. How are you doing, brother?
I'm great. Thanks for being here tonight, and thank you everyone in the chat for being here tonight too.
Yeah, totally. So this is this is a tough one, everybody. This one has it's been grating at my insides a little bit. I had to add another year to the calendar, and so we had marked 11:11 as being the date that is 1260 days from Passover 2027. So one of the things that we're going to be going through tonight is some calendar updates that we have. And the other thing that we're going to be going through is what to expect during the millennium. This is a topic that we've had questions asked of us about it. And people want to know about things such as, will there be death in the kingdom? Will there be marriage? Will there be children? And so we're going to be going into all that tonight after we do some updates with the calendar where we readjust our expectations for a Great Tribulation kickoff, which unfortunately, it's disappointing. I think all of us here wish it would have happened, 5 years ago or 10 years ago or something. But, there's some reasons why to adjust the calendar, why we're going to be looking at certain dates next year now. And we'll be going through all that. What do you have to say about all this, brother?
Yeah, that's all we can do. Just keep watching and doing the best that we can and learning, and just that's what we do. We're not going to change. And yeah, I'm not down. It's just more time. Everything that's added extra is just good. More people can find the truth and join us. That's it. That's all we're looking for. And I have no fear. Yahawashai's will be done. There's no questioning it. So it's just a matter of at what exact moment things will ramp up. We did have some crazy earthquakes take place in Iceland, some volcano eruptions, and a bunch of stuff like that, which is going to be ramping up coming into next April when we have the next Great American Eclipse. We're going to see more flooding, more crazy weather, more disturbances, and a lot of great things to expect too, right? The bringing low and destruction of all those that are haughty, all the kings, all the queens, all the people that are princes, all the rulers. They're all going to be destroyed soon. So there is a lot of good things to look forward to.
Totally. So 11:11 passed without any major headlines. You mentioned some like earthquakes and stuff, right?
Yeah, a bunch in Iceland and a bunch of other stuff,
But
a bunch of
no
disasters.
no big world catching event like, hey, there's the two witnesses over there, or World
Alaska is
War.
destroyed.
Yeah,
Yeah, we haven't seen any of that. No nukes, nothing big yet, right? No so-called nukes.
nothing like that. But so I don't know, I had expressed, I think, a couple of times concern that we might be going another year. And so one of the reasons why I started thinking that is because the first Great American Eclipse that took place in 2017, and so and that was fall festival time. So the 7 year anniversary of that will actually be next year. Now we're going to have at the 6.5 year mark, we're going to have the second Great American Eclipse. But if you look at the time between dates, from the first American eclipse to the second American eclipse, it's less than 7 years, right? It's about 6.5 years. So what we're going to be looking at is that Great American Eclipse, the second one. We're going to be looking at how that could be tied into maybe the beginning of Jacob's trouble, and then we might have a 6 month time period from then until the fall festival, when we do get to the 7 year anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign. So of course, there's no guarantee that next year is it either, but we're going to be looking at all the possible fulfillment dates for next year. And I do have some good news that I've extended the calendar, and when I moved it and I lined it up again off of a key marker that we'll get into it deeper, but basically if you line up Passover Day with the day that the two witnesses are killed, and you line up Resurrection Day with the day that the two witnesses are resurrected, then when you count 1260 days after that, I was super happy to see this. It hits the Day of Atonement again. And if you go 1,335 days, it hits Hanukkah again. So next year, the pattern fulfillment works again, but we won't have an 11/11 beginning date. We'll have a 10/29 beginning date. So we'll be getting into all those details, but I just wanted to get that out there for the people that'll just, want to hear what we're offering in the beginning here. And then, the whole topic about what to expect during the millennial reign, it's an interesting one because while there's a lot on it, it's sort of hard to research because you have all these different perspectives that people document it from. So you have the pre-tribulation rapturists where they just, everything that they see, they're out of here. They're gone for that, and they're in heaven. And most people's descriptions of what's to be taking place during the millennial reign, they're talking about things that take place in heaven, right? But the kingdom is here on earth. So for us to go through it from our perspective, where we know we're in a virtual reality, we know that the place to be is here and to be human. This is the pinnacle, really, of existence, to be in a fleshly body where we can clap, right? Because angels, and maybe they could mimic the sound of clapping, but they're immaterial, right? They're spirit bodies, so this wouldn't make a sound if they put their hands together. They can go right through walls. So we're going to be getting into all those details, talking about marriage and children and all that, but I'm going to warn you all that we're only going to scratch the surface. And so we're just going to be laying a foundation for tonight. We'll be continuing to talk about what to expect in the kingdom, because it's actually a very big and difficult topic to get your head around.
Absolutely. But leading up to it, we'll definitely show you what the Old Testament, New Testament, and the book of Enoch all collaborate on. And we'll make it plain and simple and clear for everyone to see what to expect, right? And it's all been written down. Jason and I aren't inventing anything new. We're not going to tell you something that you haven't already read or heard. We're just going to bring it back up in a organized manner.
Exactly. Yeah, and we'll leave the speculation out of it, but we may offer some analogies from our point of view, the way we see it through the filters of the 8 fundamental truths. And then between Ronnie and I, we still have different visions of it each other. So sometimes the way I speak about visualizing it and the way he speaks about visualizing it are different. And we'd actually like to even get your perspective on how you visualize it in the comments as well. But we think that by us sharing the way we visualize it, it may help you be able to see things as they are in the Bible, because one of the things we're trying to do is straighten out so much of this mis and disinformation that's been put there on purpose. Trying to think, there was one other thing I had in my mind. So since we are pushing this back a year now, basically, we are going to be looking for some big world events to be taking place in the spring. I think that next Great American Eclipse might be kicking off a season of those events that they call Jacob's Trouble. But until that time, what is it that you want to focus on most, brother? Where is it you want to put your attention, where you sort of understand that we should really be prepared for going another year? How are you planning on keeping yourself preoccupied this next year?
It's the same thing that we always do: create, follow the will of the Father, and just do the best that we can to help everyone else do what they want to do. Nothing changes for me. Absolutely nothing. It's the first that was been. I've never changed. I'm the same that I've always been. And that's going to be a great year. Try to do new content, new colors, new graphics, new music. We're not going to stop. Continuing to look at the truths, make it exciting, make it easy for people to learn. And more time we have is more chances for other people to, have the Father change their hearts and they can come to the truth. That's what we're looking for. More people to be accounted. And that's what we're waiting for. So we're going to keep on putting it out, broadcasting worldwide for everyone to come and hear what we have to share. And until the right number of people are fulfilled, we'll just keep doing it.
I guess that's it. I guess that is it. So, anything else, brother, or should we get on with it?
Let's go.
I wish that I was older, 'cause maybe then you'd listen. But then again I don't, 'cause all my chances are just given. Like a spare button in my coat. You might need it, but maybe you won't. Like petals on a flower, and the rain makes it wilt. But when you leave too soon, the tricks sound slow. But don't go too late, 'cause the bond grows cold. I'm looking for a reason to believe. Killing time is what we do. Sit back, make a wish, say a prayer, and make it come true. I'm painting pretty pictures. I like looking at this sky. If only we were older. Oh, wouldn't it be nice? But when you leave too soon, the chicks sound slow. But don't go too late, 'cause the bond grows cold. I'm looking for a reason to believe. Killing time is what we do. Sit back, make a wish, say a prayer, and make it come true. Sit back, make a wish, say a prayer. Sit back, make a wish, say a prayer.
And we are back. And we've got an updated calendar for y'all. Isn't that exciting?
Yes. Woohoo!
Woohoo! And thanks to Gloria for the help that she's given with making the calendar look better. So I have real fundamental skills with spreadsheets, and she knows how to make them look better. So what we have now is on the far right, we have, you can see which Enochian month it is. And on the left, you can see which Hebrew month it is over here now. We never had that before, right?
That's great. Very clear. Nice big lettering.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be a time, though, where we will stop having to count.
I
So
sure-
you know.
I sure hope so. So all of you, there was a really nice, awesome group that kept the Day of Atonement. And it looks like we'll, be practiced up for next year. So this year it was October 25th through 26th. And that was great. So then Tabernacles was October 30th. And it ended. So remember, each one of these days, where the Hebrew day here, it begins at the sunset on this day. So if there was a way we could move down this number column 3/4 of the way and get this 15 to go across 2 days, that would help people understand it. But as for now, we have the beginning of the day on its Gregorian day that matches, so that when you do a new moon sighting, that because the midnight to midnight and the sundown to sundown, these days are they overlap each other. So that means that Tabernacles was over at sunset on the 7th. And then we had our 1260 day count that for us here in the West would have been on November 10th, and it would have been 11:11 on the east side of Earth, where the day has already begun anew again. So we don't see the fulfillment of that. So we've moved on and we've moved this. So let's go ahead and show you. I'm going to take this to our centering point. So you can see that here we have our numbers showing up again, but I'm going to take us all the way back to our centering point. That is going to be this section right here. So now in 2028, April 10th is going to be Passover, and Resurrection Day will be April 15th, right here. So what we have is we have a 1260 day count where what we're doing is we're lining up the two witnesses' death on Passover. And we are lining up the two witnesses' death on Resurrection Day not because the Bible says this is what you're supposed to do, but when you sit down and you try to figure out an end times eschatology, there's nothing else that has that type of perfect fit for 3.5 days other than Christ's death at the cross and then what's prophesied to happen with the two witnesses. Because they're to lie dead 3.5 days, and it's just a common sense parallel that I'm doing here. Doesn't mean that that's the way it's got to be, but that's the way we're establishing the calendar and having these watch counts is off of Passover. So let's go off into the distance here, because until I extended the calendar, I didn't know what was going to happen. And I had a nervous stomach about it. I really did. But so I just took the exact same thing that I had for this year, and I pushed it out and lined it up at the Passover and Resurrection Day of 2028 instead of 2027 the way it was. And so now as we scroll this out here, we're looking for the 1260. It's a big scroll. 3.5 years, right? All right, so here comes our 1260. And whoo, wow, my heart was beating when I was scrolling out here. And yes, the 1260 day count goes right to the Day of Atonement. This would be September 26, 2031. And then the other parallel that we had is, well, the 1290 days just sort of lands out in the middle of a nowhere land. But the 1335 is then connected to Hanukkah, all right, where on our calendar, we're always looking at this from the Western's perspective. So it would be December 9th, and then it would be December 10th on the eastern part of the world. And so you would get your 1335 days to Hanukkah. So, whew, all right, we had this fit in the second half of the Great Tribulation here by putting this together the same way we did this year, where we've got the 1260 day count going both directions from Passover and from Resurrection Day. So drum roll, please. Now, if we scroll back up here, we're going to find out where the 1260 day count comes to next year. All right. Drum roll. And there we go. So it comes to October 29th, 2024. This would be Western world, where it would also be the 30th in the East. So I'm going to just show you where the fall festival kicks off here. This is what everybody wants to be making their plans for already, right? Get your hotel rooms ready. So we are going to have an annular solar eclipse on October 2nd, 2024 that takes place over South America. Remember, in the beginning of the year, just before Nisan 1, we're going to have the second Great American Eclipse. And so that's going to be kicking off our Passover season next year. But then here, if you look into the fall festivals of 2024, there is, let me check here. Yeah, so there is a partial lunar eclipse mid-September 19th and 17th. Then there is an annular solar eclipse October 2nd. And then that makes trumpets. The trumpet sighting should be October 4th, 2024. Making the Day of Atonement October 13th.
There it is.
And this is a little bit different thing. They have on the time and date where they keep track of all the lunar eclipses, they have an almost blood moon.
Almost, huh?
Almost, that's what they call it. But they make a notation for it. And then Tabernacles 2024 is going to be October 18th through October 25th. So we're going to have a little bit earlier Tabernacles than we did last year.
Yeah, maybe more conducive to camping if you're a camper.
Yeah. But then our 1260-day count, once again, it's going to be October 29th of 2024. So, just in my head, let me bring up the, here's our end times eschatology chart. So this area right here is, let me zoom into this. Not going to let me zoom. Do it manually if it gives me trouble. So this is the same philosophy here of lining up the days to Passover and Resurrection Day. We're just pushing this out to 2028 now. Now, for those that were following along, you probably remembered we tried to crunch in the opening of the seals. And we started at the 9th of Av, right? And so we tried to squeeze 7 seals in from the 9th of Av up to 11/11, and I could see that they weren't really being open. We had the fake thing going on, right? And that we got excited. We were like, oh yeah, the seals, come on, red horse. But then, the red horse rider just never came.
Well, a little bit. But I can't say too much because we'll get taken down. But,
right.
It's the beginnings of it, the birth pangs, we definitely are beholding.
So, the remake of this graphic is going to be with the idea that the seals may begin being opened with the Great American Eclipse that takes place next spring. That would give a 6-month season for these things to start unfolding. And then I just gave the dates for a 2024 Great Tribulation beginning. Instead of this saying 11/11 here, it'll say 10/29/24 when the graphics remade.
Yeah, you got a lot of work to do. That's what people don't understand. We do the work, and where we need to make a correction, Jason or I, we do it. We don't have like a whiteboard that we colored a bunch of pictures on that we can't change. Jason goes in and spends hours upon hours changing this. So we're only after the truth, and that's it. We're going to continually do this until we actually hit it, till it hits, right? And it could be any time, and we're also open to things happening with Yahawashai's will and us following after that as well. We're not set in stone on everything. We're constantly revising, learning, looping. We constantly pushing ourselves to learn more.
Yeah. So exactly as Ronnie said, we'll apply the correct dates to every single one of these things. And if anything wasn't in in the correct order, we'll adjust it and get it straightened up.
Yeah.
So as it is fulfilled, we will have this 100% correct. What we're trying to do is have the most accurate version of it possible in advance. So it just is something for us to prepare for, I guess, would be the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, learning, ever changing, ever growing, ever evolving into a better being. That's what we're doing. And it'd be nice if they hit. Everybody wants to go, everybody wants this to happen.
Yeah.
How could we not? It's the most exciting thing that's happened in all of creation.
All right. Well, so that's sort of the calendar update. And then what we want to start talking about now is preparing people for what to expect during the millennium. So
yeah,
all of this is preparation for spotting that final 7-year period of the Great Tribulation. The first half dominated by the two witnesses, and then the second half dominated by the Antichrist. And then the rest of the conversation tonight is going to be getting into, the first resurrection, when the dragon and beast are defeated. And then we're going to be focusing on this time period here between the first resurrection and the second resurrection is what we want to get the best picture that we can of.
And the tribulation.
And the tribulation. So we're going to get an image of what's going on here as well.
Mm-hmm. Key parts.
All right.
For tonight.
So why don't you go ahead and set up your share, brother?
Sure. Let me just make sure I got it on the right screen. There we go. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. I don't know why it's showing that. It should be showing.
You ready?
Yeah, is it on the screen there?
Yeah, that's good.
It says here the need for teaching the eschatological gospel of both comings of Yahawashai. So the millennial kingdom prophecies, including, yes, the restoration of Israel, which is not those that call themselves Jays. This is the descendants of Abraham. The final section of the prophecies addressing the gospel start here with these scriptures in the Old Testament and the restoration of Yahawah's chosen people. So obviously, if we're going to go into that, we need to start with Enoch. Okay, because Enoch was the first righteous scribe that was such a good scribe that he got harpazoed, right? He got taken up into the heavens to be with Yahawah forever. So in the beginning here, it says the words of the blessing of Enoch wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous who will be living in the day of tribulation. The days of tribulation when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. So we're going to stop right there. We'll come back to Enoch later. We're going to start going back into how this actually was passed down, starting with Psalms. It says, let this be written for a future generation, that a people not yet created may praise Yahawah. We're just going to roll through some scriptures. Now we're into Joel. Tell your children and let your children tell it to their children and their children to the next generation.
Whoa.
So these are the story. What?
Yeah, children to children? What can you infer from a scripture like that?
Well, it's being passed down.
Man, generations. That means childbirth, right?
Yeah. But this is leading up to it. And one generation commends your works to another. They tell of your mighty acts. Leading up to, may your deeds be shown to your servants, your splendor to their children. Again, we're leading up to what's going on here. Even when I am old and gray, do not forsake me, O Yahawah, till I declare your power to the next generation. Let your mighty acts to all who are to come. Not yet, right? So there's a constant thing that Enoch was talking about. Consider where all your ramparts, view the citadels, that you may tell of them to the next generation. I just want to continue to point out here.
Will that bottom ag go away? It's just annoying me.
They do. They annoy me too. It says they will proclaim his righteousness, declaring to a people yet unborn, he has done it. Again, these are in the Psalms. These are the Old Testament scriptures talking about the forecoming of the Messiah. And these days should be remembered and observed in every generation by every family and in every province and in every city And these days of Purim should never fail to be celebrated by the Hebrews or the Israelites, nor should the memory of these days die out among their descendants. We're going to keep going here. Now we're in the book of Yahawashai, right? In the English transliteration of that name is Joshua. It says here, no, we did it for fear that someday your descendants might say to ours, what do you have to do with Yahawah, the Elohim of Israel? The Lord hath made the Jordan a boundary between us and you, the Reubenites and the Gadites. You have no snare in the Lord. So your descendants might cause ours to stop fearing Yahawah. It's a constant thing here going on now. We're in Deuteronomy. It says here, remember the day you stood before Yahawah, your Elohim at Horeb, when he said unto me, assemble the people before me to hear my words, so that they may learn to revere me as long as they live in the land, and may teach to them and to their children. Yeah, did you want to comment here before we keep moving on?
No, that's good.
This was just establishing, starting with Enoch, for all generations. It was the words of the blessing wherewith he blessed the elect, who will be living in the day of tribulation, and the wicked and godless are to be removed of the earth. And that's what we're getting to. So now we're moving to the book of Psalms 2, and it says, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles. The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. He rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. Now proclaim.
Can we just talk about the point that this is on earth? This isn't a heavenly thing, right? The king in Zion on my holy mountain, that's
earth. Yeah.
That's earth, not heaven. Because so many people are under the misteaching that all paradise is in heaven. It's just go to heaven and then it's just heaven for eternity. So we have to constantly be getting people recentered on the truth that the promise of eternal life is for life here on earth, not in heaven.
Here on earth. And he said unto me, you are my son today, and I have become your father. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. You will break them with a rod of iron. You will dash them to pieces like pottery. Therefore, you kings, be wise. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and celebrate his rule with trembling. Kiss his son, or he will be angry, and your way will lead to your destruction, for his wrath can flare up in a moment, and blessed are those, all who take refuge in him. So it's getting a little bit stronger, the language now. We're going to continue on. It does repeat a few things over and over, but what we find is the restoration is starting to come now. We're starting to understand as the scriptures were foretold from Enoch. They've been passed down still. Did you want to read a bit here, Jay?
Sure. In that day, the branch of the Lord will be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the land will be the pride and glory of the survivors in Israel. So this is human survivors in a land here on earth. Those who are left in Zion, who remain in Jerusalem, will be called holy, all who are recorded among the living in Jerusalem. Keep going. The Lord,
Just keep going.
The Lord will wash away the filth of the woman of Zion, and he will cleanse the bloodstains from Jerusalem by a spirit of judgment and a spirit of fire. Then the Lord will create over all of Mount Zion, over those who assemble there, a cloud of smoke by day and a glow of flaming fire by night. Over everything the glory will be a canopy. It will be a shelter and shade from the heat of the day, and a refuge and hiding place from the storm and rain.
So we can see here the protection being given to this group of people. Now we're in Isaiah, if you want to keep going.
Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this.
So we're getting these foretellings of this end times group and chosen one and Father here. We'll keep going if you want.
But the righteousness, he will judge the needy. With justice, he will give decisions for the poor of the earth. He will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth. With the breath of his lips, he will slay the wicked. Righteousness will be his belt, and faithfulness the sash around his waist. The wolf will live with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the goat.
That's that Mandoozled one, right? But it does have in the next line the calf and the lion and the yearling.
I still remember lion and lamb, but whatever, wolf and lamb, tomato, right?
Yeah, we'll keep going.
The calf and the lion and the yearling together, and a little child will lead them. The cow will feed with the bear. Their young will lie down together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox. The infant will play near the cobra's den, and the young child will put its hand into the viper's nest. They will neither harm nor destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. In that day, the root of Jesse will stand as a banner for the peoples. Will rally to him, and his resting place will be glorious. In that day, the Lord will reach out his hand a second time to reclaim the surviving remnant of his people from Assyria, from Lower Egypt, from Upper Egypt, from Cush, from Elam, from Babylonia, from Hamath, and from the islands of the Mediterranean. He will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judah from the four quarters of the earth. Four quarters? Come on. You can't have four quarters in a circle.
No. 4 quarters equally divided up is 4 squares or 4 rectangles, right? But so I'll continue on after that. So what we're getting is Yahawashai regathering the people and talking about this righteous nation that he's about to bring forth, right? So we'll keep on. Now we're to the book of Daniel, and it says, in those times of those kings, the Elohim of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, nor will it be left to another people. It will crush all of those kingdoms and bring them to an end, but it will itself endure forever. So now we're getting some serious talk here. This is an ultimate kingdom being set up. And again, when I go back to the book of Enoch, and says right here, in the words of the blessed of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of the times of tribulations, when all of the wicked and godless are to be removed. Right? So we're getting further detail now from Daniel. In those times of those kings, Yahawashai himself will set up a kingdom. It says here that it will never be destroyed. It's going to live forever, right? We'll keep scrolling down. 1 second. We're just basically trying to breach the waters. We want to start you off slow, go back to the Old Testament, understand some of these prophecies and how they're being fulfilled. It says here, but you, Bethlehem and Ephrathah, or Ephrathah, that's a hard one to say. Though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from ancient times. Interestingly enough, we're going to hear references of one of those head of days of ancient times being brought up a bunch of times. I know, Jason, you've heard it. It's in the book of Enoch, most commonly used is describing the head of days.
Yeah, you hear that many times in that book. Yeah.
Yeah, the maker of spirits. My faithful love will be with him. And through my name, his horn will be exalted. I will set up his hand over the sea, his right hand over the rivers. And he will call out to me, you are my Father, my Elohim, my rock, and my Savior. And I will appoint to him to be my firstborn, the most exalted of the kings of the earth. And I will maintain my love for him forever. And my covenant with him will never fail. I will establish his line forever, his throne as long as the heavens endure. If his sons forsake my law and do not follow my statutes, if they do violate my decrees, and fail to keep my commands, I will punish their sin with the rod, their iniquity with flogging, but I will not take my love away from him. nor will I ever betray my faithfulness. It's quite important here. I will not violate my covenant or alter what my lips have uttered. Once and for all, I have sworn by my holiness, and I will not lie to David. That is his line will continue forever, and his throne to endure before me like the sun. It will be established forever like the moon, the faithful witnesses in the sky. That's some pretty nice, beautiful, poetic language right there.
Yeah. So yeah, if we could talk about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the promise to the ruler of David's line. That so there's a covenant spoken of in the end of these scriptures right here. That so it has to be fulfilled. He's not going to lie. That covenant sounds similar, not exactly the same, but similar to the covenant given to Abraham. And and so then through the promise made to Abraham, this is where a lot of our hopes come for, because it was promised that his seed would be the seed that would repopulate the whole earth. And then it's through his children, through Isaac, who was blessed, and then through Jacob, who was blessed, and then through Jacob's 12 children. And now 2 of his children, Judah and Levite, were given a special blessing. And so the promise is for humans to repopulate earth. It was originally intended for Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. But then, then there was the fall, then there was the flood, and then through the promise made to Abraham for his faithfulness, then all of a sudden this promise of a seed continuing here on earth was given to the descendants of Abraham and through Jacob. So in order for that fundamental promise to be fulfilled, in order for there to be people to be ruled by Christ in the kingdom, the way to make more humans is we have to have children. We have to repopulate the earth. Otherwise, with lifespans, it'll die out. So there's an extrapolation that can be made that humans are going to continue giving birth in order for the promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to David, and to Christ. In order for those to all be fulfilled, there has to be children being born still, right?
Yeah, it says literally, David, continue forever. So there's no other way before, other than procreation, right?
That's it.
And also angelic beings, but that's, again, we are just lightly scratching the surface tonight, bringing you above the water so you can sort of see what we're seeing. We're going to continue on here. This is Psalms of Solomon now. Endow the king with your justice, O Elohim Yahawashai, the royal son with your righteousness. May he judge your people in righteousness, your afflicted ones with justice. So this is a constant thing that we try to understand here. So justice, righteousness, and what needs to take place, it has to happen. Our egos, a lot of the times, try to get in the way, and we try to project things that we want onto the scriptures, but we got to continually come back to them and see what they say.
That's a good point. That's a good point right there. If we could I want to add to it quickly that you mentioned that we project what we want, and so there's a whole bunch of false doctrines, and then what happens is we gravitate towards the false doctrines that we want. All right, so we're going to be going through some of these scriptures tonight that just show what the scriptures have to say about these different groups. There are the resurrected, which have certain attributes. There are natural born humans that have certain attributes. The angels have certain attributes, and they just are what they are. So we just ask everybody to disassociate with what it is that you want, and just see what the scriptures have to say in an open, unbiased way, right? And then you might see that your expectations for something aren't rooted in something that's scriptural. Probably a lot of people run into that.
Yeah,
it's a refining of the truth right here, where most people don't talk about what actually happens during the kingdom. The Jehovah's Witnesses are really the only ones that preach paradise on earth, and everybody else teaches going to heaven.
Yeah, the Second-day Adventists might be alongside them.
Yeah.
I haven't gone deep dived into their doctrine, but we are a little bit. But what we're basically outlining right now is the reign of the king, right? We're explaining it's his millennial reign. It's his kingdom. He rules over it. But there's like you had said, there's a group with him, there's elders, there's angels, there's humans, there's all these different groups. But this is the foretelling. The prosperity to the people, the hills, the fruit of righteousness. May he defend the afflicted among the people and save the children of the needy. May he crush the oppressor. May he endure as long as the sun, and as long as the moon, through all generations, it says. May he be like rain falling on a cut field of the mown grass. I mean, wow, what poetic language I'm writing with here. Everybody knows what it smells like if you cut the grass and it rains, like the showers watering the earth. In his days may righteousness flourish and prosperity abound till the moon is no more. May he rule from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth. And this is actually the scripture that the national anthem from Canada, verse number 8 here, took from. Right?
Yeah. So I recognize that.
Yeah, that's where they got it from. For anybody, if you didn't know, it was from that scripture right there. Then we, your people, the sheep of your pastor, will praise you forever. From generation to generation, we will proclaim and your praise. So this is something that we're seeing, that a lot of the people that are here on earth right now, they don't give the Creator any glory. They don't praise his name. They blaspheme it. They blaspheme his son's name, even the ones who proclaim to love him.
Well, and so many people say he's like the wicked God of the Old Testament, goes around killing babies, a baby killer, right?
Yeah, well, they do say that. They do, absolutely do they say that. But we know that the group that saved the restored Israel, the true descendants of Abraham, will praise the name of Yahawashai and Yahawashai constantly forever, right? And a few more, and then we'll get into some from the book of the Enoch. It says here, the restoration of Israel. It says, this is the word that came unto Jeremiah from Yahawah. We just read this, right?
Yeah.
This is what, you want to read this part? Actually, I read the last one.
This is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. This is what the Lord, the Elohim of Israel, says. Write in a book all the words I have spoken to you. The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will bring my people Israel and Judah back from captivity and restore them to the land I gave the ancestors to possess, says the Lord.
So, you could look at that like Judah and Levi, right? Israel and Judah, Levi.
Yeah, that was the promise.
To the two of them, right? And then we're going to skip down. You can keep reading if you want.
But I will bring Israel back to their own pasture, and they will graze on Carmel and Bashan. Their appetite will be satisfied on the hills of Ephraim and Gilead. In those days, at that time, declares the Lord, search will be made for Israel's guilt, but there will be none, and for the sins of Judah, but none will be found, for I will forgive the remnant I spare.
Interesting. This is your rapture community wants to be this, right?
Yeah. So the people that are genuine qualified people for the quote unquote rapture, they are the people that are genuinely qualified to be taken to Israel, to be marked, to be sealed, to be protected, and for these promises to be fulfilled on. The mistake in the rapture is that this is taking place in heaven, when the scriptures clearly foretell all this taking place here on earth.
Yeah, this word right here, land.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep reading?
Therefore say, this is what the sovereign Lord says, I will gather you from the nations and bring you back to the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you back to you the land of Israel again.
It doesn't say heaven.
It's just so clear. This is a regathering on earth. It's Exodus 2.0, but where everybody's coming from distant lands to the promised land. And over and over and over again. This is not something that takes place in heaven.
No, it's right here, the land.
Mm-hmm.
Land of Israel again. That's the promise. If anybody tells you anything else, they're lying to you. I know there's a few more verses, I think, in this set. And again, there's so much investigating, researching. There's so much of, taking deep dives into the scriptures. Most of them were just reiterating what Jeremiah was saying.
I just want to let everybody know that they're comments. So if you think that there's something that's being missed that's important as far as millennial kingdom fulfillment, bring it up in the comment section, in the chat here live or in the comment section, and I'll show you later that we're going to be making an end times eschatology graph that's for groups of people. And so what I want to do is have all the groups of people, and I want to show all the possible outcomes for them and have it all graphed out over the Great Tribulation and the Millennial Reign. So that's going to be the next work, along with the calendar eschatology that we have for biblical fulfillments. We want to show you as groups of people which direction that you can go when, and what direction you can go and at what time.
Yeah, that's it. We'll keep going here. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundations of the world." Right? So starting to get into some of the kingdom talk, so that the blood of all of the prophets shed from the foundation of the world may be charged against this generation. So we're getting justice, and everything will be just. Father, I desire that they also, whom you have given me, may be with me where I am, to see my glory that you have given me, because you loved me before the foundations of the world. So this is Christ calling it out. Where are mine? Who's saying that you have chose, even as he chose us in him before the foundations of the world, that we should be a holy and blameless before him. In love, right? This is where we're headed. This is the group of people. They're going to have these characteristics. It says here, he was forsaken before the foundation of the world, but was made manifest in the last times for the sake of you and me and everyone tuning in. And I think now we're going to get into actually going into the book of Enoch. Jason, if I guess I could read a little bit, and then I'll get you to read the second section. It says here, "The Holy and Great One will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal Elohim will tread upon the earth, even upon Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them to the ends of the earth." Again, there's ends. It's not a sphere. So it's a flat, four-cornered earth. "And the mountains, the high ones, shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made flat, and they shall melt like wax before a flame. And the earth shall be wholly rent in sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish. And there shall be a judgment upon all men. But with the righteous he will make peace, and he will protect the elect, and mercy will be upon them. And they shall all belong to Yahawashai, and they shall be prospered, and they shall be blessed. And he will help them all, and light shall appear unto them, and he will make peace with them. And behold, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, and destroy all of the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all of their works of their ungodliness, which they have ungodly committed, and all of the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him." So this is the main. I know this was also referenced in the book of Jude, right? He comes with 10,000 of his holy ones to execute judgment, right? So this is the point where you start to see, this is the kickoff. This is we think could be Jacob's trouble, the 7-year tribulation, the moving into the millennial reign. It's going to start with all of these high places, these kings, these rulers to be thrown down. Jason, do you want to read? Do you have a comment to say?
No, I can read.
Okay, I'll mute.
"And for all of you sinners there shall be no salvation, but on you all shall abide a curse. But for the elect there shall be light and joy and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. So inheriting the earth right there is just like the key words that everybody, this is not taking place in heaven. The place to be is here in a human body on earth. That's the highest reward right there. And then there shall be bestowed upon you the elect wisdom, and they shall all live and never again sin. So the sin is being connected with living as well. So I've got a theory that the lifespan of those that were told that they could live 1,000 years, that how long a person lived was dependent on how much they sinned, and because sin brings death. That's a theory right there, but it is based off of scriptural things, either through ungodliness or through pride. But they who are wise shall be humble, and they shall not again transgress, nor shall they sin all the days of their life, nor shall they die of the divine anger or wrath, but they shall complete the number of the days of their life. Now,
Okay.
come on, what do we got here?
Mm-hmm.
Complete the number of the days of their life, so there is still a defined lifespan.
Right. That's right. We always need to reference this line upon line, book upon book, and we're just lightly jumping into this tonight, and we're starting mostly with the Book of Enoch. We did go through a bunch of the 66 book canon.
Yeah, so if we cross-reference that verse with the one at Isaiah 65:20, now all of a sudden we have compounding evidence of there still being a lifespan during this time period.
That's right.
And their lives shall be increased in peace, and the years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace all the days of their life. All right, so still a lifespan.
That's right. We are reading about the kingdom that's going to be set up here on earth. Now, this was pre the book of Revelation, so it's a little bit different of a language. Did you want to keep reading, or do you want me to?
I can do a little more. And then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live till they beget thousands of children. Ding 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 ding. All right. They shall live till they beget thousands of children. So people were asking, about life, death, having children, marriage. Right there, there's a number of answers in one sentence. Right? They shall live till they beget thousands of children. In all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. Youth and, yeah.
So, but the main overarching common thing here is peace, right? In peace. In peace. There's going to be no more usury or wickedness or lying or any adultery or anything that's evil. Everything is going to be clean. We're all going to live in peace. And there does seem to be a timeline, but thousands of children, and we know about reincarnation.
Yeah, so Noah's got a question about, will this be in the new resurrected body from Sheol, those in the grave? We're going to be getting into resurrected bodies towards the end. I've got a couple slides regarding that. And it continues here, and then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall be planted, and I got to move something, with trees, and be full of blessing. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it. And the vine which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. So yes, there is going to be alcohol in the kingdom, everybody. A lot of the promises have to do with an abundance of wine. All right. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000. And each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and all the uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth, destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration, and shall praise me, and all shall worship me. And the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment. And I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation, and forever and forever. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessings which are in the heaven, so as to send them upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world, and through all the generations of men.
Pretty good.
So work and labor still continuing in the kingdom.
Truth and peace with work and labor.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're not getting off that easy for people that but what makes life precious? It is timelines. It is valued at working hard, right? We can't just snap our fingers and everything just is built for us, and what are we going to do? Suntan on the beach drinking coconut juice? I mean, no, that's not.
Just snap your fingers, move this mountain over there, print off 100,000 new iPhones with the snap of a finger, right?
That's not what's going to happen. You want me to read?
Yeah.
Then they shall rejoice with joy and be glad, and into the holy place they shall enter, and its fragrance shall be in their bones. And they shall live a long life on earth, such as thy fathers lived. Oh, isn't that interesting? So our forefathers, the descendants of us and those that were before the flood.
Yeah, up to the flood, it was up to 1,000 years.
That's right. That's what Enoch was relating here. And in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them. So that doesn't mean that you're not going to die. It just means that you're going to live your life with never worrying about a plague, or you're never going to be sad, right? No sorrow or torment or calamity. Then I blessed the Elohim of glory, the eternal King, who hath prepared such things for the righteous, and hath created them and promised to give to them. So there's a few more, and we're almost out of the introduction into the kingdom of heaven. So I'll start here. When the congregation of the righteousness shall appear, and sinners shall be judged for their sins, and shall be driven from the face of the earth. And when the righteous one shall appear before the eyes of the righteous, whose works hang upon the elect Lord of spirits, and light shall appear unto the righteous and the elect who dwell on the earth. Where then will be the dwelling place of the sinners? And where the resting place of those who have denied the Lord of spirits? It had been good for them if they had not been born. When the secrets of the righteous shall be revealed, and the sinners judged, and the godless driven from the presence of the righteous and elect, from that time those that possess the earth shall no longer be powerful and exalted, and they shall not be able to behold the face of the holy, for the Lord of spirits has caused his light to appear on the face of the holy, righteous, and elect. So now we're having supernatural things start to take place. All of a sudden, the people who are running the realm right now are not going to be able to look at the righteous people. They're going to be shining, right? Then shall the kings and the mighty perish and be given into the hands of the righteous and holy. Hold on a minute. This is not what we were expecting to read. Christians think that they're going to get raptured up into the sky, right? No, this is saying that they're going to clean it out. This is going to be a joint effort here.
Yeah. The kings of the earth are going to look upon them, and they're going to be terrified because
their time is up.
Yeah, and it's going to be this group that, probably thought that they were going to be raptured. But no, this is all taking place on earth. Those kings are the mighty men of nations alive right now. Presidents and leaders of religious organizations and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tremble at the righteous's presence.
That's right. And thenceforward none shall seek for themselves mercy from the Lord of spirits, for their life is at an end. And mercy shall not be accorded unto them, saith the Lord of spirits. And in those days a whirlwind carried me off from the earth and sat me down upon the end of the heavens. And there I saw another vision. the dwelling places of the holy and the resting places of the righteous. Here mine eyes saw their dwellings and his righteous angels. Angels, interesting that we're talking about angels and their resting places with the holy. And they petitioned and interceded and prayed for the children of men, and righteousness flowed before them as water, and mercy like dew upon the earth. Thus it is amongst them forever and ever. And in that place mine eyes saw the elect one of righteousness and of faith. And I saw his dwelling place under the wings of the Lord of the spirits. Now, again, this is not good for Trinitarians, right? We're getting the elect one of righteousness under the wing of the Lord of spirits. So it's two characters. And righteousness shall prevail in his days. And the righteous and the elect will be without number before him forever and ever. So that's great, right? There will be a large group. And all the righteous and elect before him shall be strong as fiery lights, and their mouth shall be full of blessing, and their lips extol the name of the Lord of spirits, and righteousness before him shall never fail, and uprightness shall never fail before him. There I wish to dwell, Enoch said, and my spirit longed for that dwelling place, and there henceforth hath been my portion. For so has it been established concerning me before the Lord of spirits. Enoch is saying, this is where I'm going. This place with that righteous one where everybody's in peace, worshiping Yahawashai correctly. That's where Enoch said, this is for me, my portion. It's incredible, the different scriptures and why do you think that, Jason, that this book was taken out of the 66?
Yeah, it just made it too easy. And plus it had the course of the luminaries. So the heliocentric psyop would have never taken root if everybody was aware of the book of Enoch.
Exactly. And now we're getting a reference to a group. Then I will cause mine elect one to dwell among them, and I will transform the heaven and make an eternal blessing and light. And I will transform the earth and make it a blessing. And I will cause mine elect ones, pluralized, to dwell upon it, but the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon. For I have provided and satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and have caused them to dwell before me. But the sinners there is judgment impending with me, so that I shall destroy them from the face of the earth. Again, over and over again, this is what the Christians should be looking for. You're not looking to get caught up into the air. All of this has to take place, And there I saw the one who had the head of days, and his head was white like wool. And with him was another being whose countenance had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of grace, full of graciousness, like one of the holy angels. And I asked that angel who went with me and showed me all the hidden things concerning that Son of Man, who he was and whence he was, and why he went with the head of days. So again, if people are not understanding here, we're getting two characters that Enoch's writing about. Right? The first one is the ancient of old, the head of days. And the next was the Son of Man. The countenance, the appearance of a man. His face was full of graciousness. So
we can parallel those to the Father Yahawashai and the Son Yahawashai.
Correct. That's who it is. That's who we're getting Enoch's account of it. Long before Enoch was like 5,000 years ago. This is the Son of Man who hath righteousness. With him dwelleth righteousness, and who revealeth all the treasures of that which is hidden. Because the Lord of spirits hath chosen him, and whose lot hath preeminence before the Lord of spirits and uprightness forever. Preeminence, that's a big word. That's more than your average paper flipping word, right?
Yeah, no, preeminence, that's like pre-existence, fancifully said, right?
Right, yes. And that Son of Man, whom thou hast seen, shall raise up the kings and the mighty from their seats, and the strong from their thrones, and shall loosen the reins of the strong, and break the teeth of the sinner. So now we're getting that character with the rod of iron that's coming to smash out the teeth, right? This is some serious language here. And he shall put down the kings from their thrones and kingdoms, because they do not extol and praise him.
nor humbly acknowledge whence the kingdom was bestowed upon them. This is a huge problem that we have. I'm almost certain Trump, who are these other people? Biden, any of the people, Netanyahu, do they give thanks and give praise to Yahawashai for what they've been given? Any of these kings, any of these narcissistic leaders, do you think, Jay, that they bow their faces down in the morning, they give thanks at night? Do you think that they glorify Yahawashai and his son?
No. Trump even says he's never apologized for anything.
Well, and then all of a sudden it says, and he shall put down the countenance of the strong and shall fill them with shame. And darkness shall be their dwelling, and worms shall be their bed. And they shall have no hope in rising from their beds, because they do not extol the name of the Lord of spirits, and raise their hands against the Most High, and tread upon the earth and dwell upon it, and all their deeds manifest unrighteousness. And their power rests upon their riches, and their faith is in the gods which they have made with their hands. And they deny the name of the Lord of spirits, and they persecute the houses of his congregation, and the faithful who hang upon the name of the Lord of spirits. And in those days shall have ascended the prayer of the righteous and of the blood of the righteous from the earth before the Lord of spirit. And in those days, the holy ones who dwell above in the heavens shall unite with one voice, and shall supplicate and pray and praise and give thanks and bless the name of the Lord of spirits. So this we're getting also is lining up with the timeline with the Great Tribulation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here we do have a situation taking place in heaven. Right now we're in heaven here. This is not on earth.
Yes, and they give thanks, and it goes on to say, on the behalf of the blood of the righteous, which has been shed, and that the prayer of the righteous may not be in vain before the Lord of spirits, that judgment may be done unto them, and that they may not have to suffer forever. I know that there's so many people tuned in right now, and we're all feeling this.
Yeah, it feels like it's forever, right?
It's tough, right? Imagine you've been waiting. Imagine you were able. You've been waiting. You were slayed first. And in those days, I saw the head of days when he seated himself upon the throne of his glory. And the books of the living were opened before him. And all his host, which is in heaven above, and his counselors stood before him. And the hearts of the holy were filled with joy, because the number of righteous had been offered. Again, we're getting all of this has been taken and put straight into the book of Revelations.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. This is what we're seeing.
That's seal number 5 right there.
That's right. And the prayers had been heard, and the blood of the righteous required before the Lord of spirit. And in that place I saw a fountain of righteousness. Now we're going into a new place. This is after. Now we're going post millennial reign. Right? Because the books don't just stop at the millennial reign. They go on. They go on forever. And it says, in that place I saw a fountain of righteousness, which is the river that feeds the tree of life. That was inextinguishable. And around it were many fountains of wisdom. And all that were thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom. And their dwellings were with the righteous and the holy and the elect. And at that hour the Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name before the head of days. Yea, it says here, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of the heavens were made, his name was named before the Lord of the spirits. And he shall be a staff to the righteous, whereon they stay themselves and not fall. And he shall be the light unto the Gentiles, and the hope of those who are troubled of heart. And all who dwell upon the earth fall down and worship before him, and will praise and bless and celebrate the song of the Lord of spirits. For this reason he has chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world and forevermore. And the wisdom of the Lord of spirits hath revealed him to the holy and righteous. So again, you have to have a good heart to be able to understand any of this stuff. Right?
Yeah, it's just hidden. It's veiled. It goes right over the head of wicked people, and wicked people would never be at a flat earth channel interested in what's going to be taking place in the kingdom, right? So it's not something they're going to be tuned into. They'll be tuned into something else.
Yeah, exactly. It all goes down to what you tune into, right? Do you want to read a bit?
Sure. Because they have hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways, in the name of the Lord of spirits, for in his name they are saved. So very important thing. It's just like in the Bible, it says, for in his name they are saved. You got to know his name, everybody, and it's not Jesus. Absolutely not. And according to his good pleasure hath it been in regard to their life. In these days, downcast in countenance shall the kings of the earth have become, and the strong who possess the land because of the works of their hands. And for on the day of their anguish and affliction, they shall not be able to save themselves. And I will give them into the hands of mine elect. As straw in the fire, so shall they burn before the face of the holy. As lead in the water, shall they sink before the face of the righteous. And no trace of them shall any more be found. And on the day of their affliction there shall be rest on the earth. And before them they shall fall and not rise again. And there shall be no one to take them with his hand and raise them. For they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. And in those days a change shall take place for the holy and elect, and the light of days shall abide upon them, and glory and honor shall turn to the holy. And on the day of affliction, on which evil shall have been treasured up against the sinners, and the righteous shall be victorious in the name of the Lord of spirits, and he will cause the others to witness this, that they may repent and forego the works of their hands.
Okay, hold on. This is huge. This is huge. Again, this is what we've been trying to tell the rapture community. Hold up. You don't want to get raptured into heaven. You want to be a part of this group that witnesses the justice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, otherwise you're missing the show. They shall have no honor through the name of the Lord of spirits, yet through his name shall they be saved. And the Lord of spirits will have compassion on them, for his compassion is great. And he is righteous also in his judgment. And in the presence of his holy unrighteousness also shall not maintain itself. And at his judgment the unrepentant shall perish before him. And from henceforth I will have no mercy on them, saith the Lord of spirits. And in those days shall the earth also give back that which has been entrusted to it, and Sheol also shall give back that which it has received, and hell shall give back that which it owes. So, talking everybody, this is an important thing. We're going to have to get real drilled in and focused on the resurrection and the earth giving back the dead. This is an important topic that is easily misunderstood, but we'll continue here. For in the days the elect one shall arise, and he shall choose the righteous and holy from among them. For the day is drawn nigh that they should be saved. And the elect one shall in those days sit on my throne, and his mouth shall pour forth all the secrets of wisdom and counsel. For the Lord of spirits hath given them to him, and hath glorified him. And in those days shall the mountains leap like rams, and the hills also shall skip like lambs satisfied with milk. And the face of all the angels in heaven shall be lighted up with joy.
So not only are we getting humans, we're getting angels, and we're getting animals. Okay, we're also getting animals. We keep going. We're getting closer to the end of this for a sec.
Yeah, and the earth shall rejoice, and the righteous shall dwell upon it, and the elect shall walk thereon. It's all on earth, everybody. This is all taking place on earth.
All of it. All of it. And then the green is good, right? Here, we'll keep going.
And after those days, in that place where I had seen all the visions of that which is hidden, for I had been carried off in a whirlwind, and they had borne me towards the west, there mine eyes saw all the secret things of heaven that shall be, a mountain of iron, and a mountain of copper, and a mountain of silver, and a mountain of gold, and a mountain of soft metal, and a mountain of lead. And I asked the angel who went with me, saying, What things are these which I have seen for secret? And he said to me, All these things which thou hast seen shall serve the dominion of his anointed, that he may be potent and mighty on the earth. And that angel of peace answered, saying unto me, Wait a little, and there shall be revealed unto thee all the secret things which surround the Lord of spirits. So all the resources necessary are being given, right? So right now,
Yep.
gold and diamonds and all these kinds of things are real scarce, but so whatever it is that we're going to need in the kingdom, it's going to be given in much abundance.
Yes.
And these mountains which thine eyes have seen, the mountain of iron, and the mountain of copper, and the mountain of silver, and the mountain of gold, and the mountain of soft metal, and the mountain of lead, all these shall be in the presence of the elect one, as wax before the fire. And like the water which streams down from above upon those mountains, and they shall become powerless before his feet. And it shall come to pass in those days that none shall be saved, either by gold or by silver, and none be able to escape. And there shall be no iron for war, nor shall one clothe oneself with a breastplate. Bronze shall be of no service, and tin shall be of no service, and shall not be esteemed, and lead shall not be desired. That includes bullets, everybody. All these things shall be denied and destroyed from the surface of the earth, when the elect one shall appear before the face of the Lord of spirits. There mine eyes saw a deep valley with open mouths, and all who dwell on the earth and sea and island shall bring to him gifts and presents and tokens of homage. But the deep valley shall not become full. And their hands commit lawless deeds, and the sinners devour all whom they lawlessly oppress. Yet the sinners shall be destroyed before the face of the Lord of spirits, and they shall be banished from off the face of his earth, and they shall perish forever and ever.
So now we're getting a promise that the wicked will be removed from the earth. Harpazoed, right? Not the righteous, the wicked, the sinners. Keep going, we're almost through.
And these mountains shall not stand as the earth before his righteousness, but the hills shall be a fountain of water, and the righteous shall have rest from the oppression of sinners.
So this is the promise, right? For all those who've been oppressed and done as Christ has asked, and they've stayed faithful, right? There is this, and continue here, brother. We're getting into the gravy.
And the days of their lives shall be at an end, and the days of their leading astray shall not thenceforth be reckoned. And in the days the angels shall return, and hurl themselves at the east upon the Parthians and Medes. They shall stir up the kings, so that a spirit of unrest shall come upon them, and they shall rouse from their thrones, that they may break forth as lions from their lairs, and as hungry wolves from their flocks. And they shall go up and tread under foot the land of his elect ones, and the land of his elect ones shall be before them a threshing floor and a highway. But the city of my righteous shall be a hindrance to their horses, and they shall begin to fight among themselves, and their right hand shall be strong against themselves. And a man shall not know his brother, nor a son his father or his mother, till there be no number of the corpses through their slaughter, and their punishment be not in vain. In those days Sheol will open its jaws, and they shall be swallowed up therein, and their destruction shall be at an end. Sheol shall devour the sinners in the presence of the elect.
Right. So again, that's one of the rider of war, right? What is that? The red horse rider?
Yeah, red horse rider takes away peace from the earth.
Mm-hmm. And everybody fights everyone. I'll continue here. And I began to speak the third parable concerning the righteous and elect. Blessed are ye righteous and elect, for glorious shall be your lot. And the righteous shall be in the light of the sun, and the elect in the light of the eternal life, and the days of their life shall be unending, and the days of the holy without number. And they shall seek the light and find righteousness with the Lord of spirits. There shall be peace to the righteous in the name of the eternal Lord. And after this it shall be said to the holy in heaven, that they should seek out the secrets of righteousness, the heritage of faith, for it has become bright as the sun upon the earth, and the darkness is past. And there shall be a light that never endeth, and to a lit number of the days shall not come, for the darkness shall first have been destroyed, and the light established before the Lord of spirits, and the light of uprightness established forever and ever before the Lord of spirits. So again, this is now we're going to the 8th day, right? And Enoch goes on to talk about the different goings-ons in the heavens. And this is, again, I saw long cords were given unto the angels, who took them and flew. And they went towards the north. And I asked the angel, saying to him, who of these angels, and what are these cords that they've taken? And he said unto me, they have gone to measure. What takes place with the 2 witnesses?
They are commanded to go measure the temple.
And also, there's another book of Revelation quote.
The outer court. They're not to measure, right?
Mm-hmm. And the angel who went with me said unto me, they shall bring the measure of the righteous, and the ropes of the righteous to the righteous, that they may stay themselves on the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. That's Yahawashai and his son Yahawashai. And the elect shall begin to dwell with the elect. Oh, here we go. We're going to be brought back together. And those are the measures which shall be given to faith, and which shall strengthen the righteousness. And these measures shall reveal all of the secrets of the depths of the earth, and to those who have been destroyed by the desert, and to those who have been devoured by beasts, and to those who have been devoured by the fish of the sea, that they may return and stay themselves on the day of the elect one. It sounds like 1,000-year reign of millennial Christ, the day of the elect one. For none shall be destroyed.
There is a resurrection in those verses right there.
Mm-hmm. None shall be destroyed before the Lord of spirits, and none can be destroyed. And all who dwell above in the heavens received a command and power, and with one voice and one light like an unto fire. And that one with their first words they blessed and extolled and lauded with wisdom. And they were wise in utterance and in the spirit of life. And the Lord of spirits placed the elect one on the throne of glory. And he shall judge all the works of the holy above in heaven, and in the balance shall their deeds be weighed. Now we're getting the angels being weighed. And when he shall lift up his countenance to judge their secret ways according to the word of the name of the Lord of spirits, and their paths according to the way of righteousness, judgment of the Lord of spirits, then shall they all with one voice speak and bless and glorify and extol the name of the Lord. So we've got just a few more to get to, and then we are completed all this. It does take, there is quite a bit of going through, and we're skipping a lot of it. And in those days, the sinners of the year shall be shortened, and their seed shall be tardy on their lands and their fields, and all the earth and the earthing shall alter, and shall not appear in their time. So now we're getting a time period where things aren't going as good as what we would have wanted, right? And I observed in the heavenly tablets and read everything that was written thereon, and understood everything, and all of the deeds of mankind, and all of the children of flesh, that shall be upon the earth to the remotest generations. And forthwith I bless the great King of glory forever, in that he has made all the works of the world. And I extolled the Lord because of his patience, and blessed him because of the children of men. So, I mean, we can continue, and we're going to be getting back into this, right? And the book was written, indeed, this complete doctrine of wisdom was written for the children of earth, and all of the men that are to be judged. Right. So we get constant, Enoch is always praising us. He's always allowing us to remember that, everything that Yahawah has planned is going to be fulfilled. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a look at the kingdom from the book of Enoch. Mm-hmm. And, that's just another perspective, right? Well,
the building up to the coming kingdom, the unbreakable kingdom. It's talking about the millennial reign, and then post-millennial reign. too. So the Enoch sort of gets a little bit of it all. He wrote down all the deeds of mankind. So I know if you probably want to take the screen share, you've got a few things that you want to get into. I'm excited to hear that. And this was just part one, right? We're just slowly getting into this.
All right, let me give you a screen share. So I had brought this up a little while back when we read Jeremiah, because we had started this look into will people die during Christ's millennial reign. And what we went to was the scriptures at Isaiah 65:20, which we did cover in the reading tonight. And there was a couple other scriptures that Ronnie shared that still spoke of lifespans in the kingdom. And so, just so everybody understands this verse here, it is, there will no more be in it a suckling child of a few days, or an old man who will not fill out his days, for the young man will die the son of 100 years, and the sinner 100 years will be cursed. So there's still this talk of lifespans that extends into the kingdom. And this right here is this is probably the thing that is most people are going to want to not accept, right? But somehow we have to understand what it is that Isaiah is talking about. So one of the things that that I want to do to help put this all together is let's start with this slide right here. And that is there's different groups of people that are talked about during the end times eschatology. And so what we sort of need to do is work on our vocabulary as to what it is that we are talking about. And so the resurrected people, there's a lot of scriptures that talk about the resurrection, and there's something really important said about it, and this is going to be where most people have a difficult time accepting what the Bible has to say. But what we want to do is just put it out there. This is what the Bible says. And so there's these different groups. The first one, the resurrected bodies. In Mark 12:24, it says, Yahawashai replied, "Are you not in error because you do not know the scriptures or the power of Yahawah? When the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven." Now about the dead rising, have you not read in the book of Moses, in the account of the burning bush, how Yahawah said to him, "I am the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob"? He is not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living. You are badly mistaken. So we've got this verse 25 here that talks about when the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. So what does that mean? So I've got another slide here about the angels. And so what I'm going to be doing is creating slides of these different groups, and I'm going to be putting together an end times eschatology and showing how they all fit with each other. But as a group, generalize the angels. Angels are genderless. They're neither male nor female. And the majority of them, most of the time, are immaterial, right? A few have had material interactions with humans. And so there's these times in the scriptures where an angel is interacting with a human, and even a few times where they've eaten with a human, but they appear to be touchable. They appear to be able to consume food and interact with humans, but these are on limited bases, and they're not very long, and then they're gone. So they can teleport, they can go from here to there. They're immaterial. They can walk through a wall, they could float above water, And so they do not age or suffer injury or death. Now they can be destroyed. That'll be coming up. But they don't have a lifespan where they get old and die, because it's an immaterial body. So because we know that we're in a virtual reality, we're always trying to visualize this. And so an immaterial body, right now, when we put our hands together and they hit each other, they can clap, right? If my hands were immaterial, there wouldn't be any clap. My hands would be passing right through each other. They wouldn't stop at each other. I could stick them through a table. I could stick them through a wall. And it's because of being immaterial. So that is, in a virtual reality, you just sort of turn borders on or borders off. You could still have the same visual appearance, same height, same weight, same look, but then just turn materiality off. And then in a few cases, these angels have actually had materiality on. So, but that's a special case. Now, angels do not marry or procreate. So that first scripture that we read talking about the resurrected, it says that they're like angels. And it said that they do not marry. They will not be given in marriage. But they can be destroyed. So they are judged by humans and can be destroyed. So the angels have free will. They can follow the Creator, or they can also rebel. And there was a group of angels that rebelled. So angels are a real classification. They exist. They will be in the kingdom. There's going to be a group of angels that are eternal. And they're the resurrected. It says in the scriptures, let's go back to the resurrected bodies. It says, when the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. So I'm trying to depict resurrected people as special and different in that they're going to be like the angels. According to the scriptures, this isn't my preference. This isn't Ronnie and my opinion. We're just reading from the scriptures what takes place. So just understand that the resurrected are going to be a bit different. And then I have a third category of people, and that is the natural humans. So these are living descendants of Adam and Eve, and that's what all of us here listening to this are. We're all natural.
Well, I mean, there might be some more tuned there. There might not be some heavenly things and some earthly things.
But we are all natural, living human beings. The fact that you're hearing this podcast right now on YouTube is evidence that you are a living descendant of Adam and Eve. So I've got some funny characteristics here. They're all either male or female. There's
two genders.
Two genders, no other choices available. They are 5-fingered, 5-toed, 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 nose, 1 mouth, 5 sensations. All right, so
they can have less than these, but they cannot have more.
All right. So these are the characteristics overall of human beings. Now we come in all different colors, different hair colors, different shapes, sizes, eye colors. All of these features are just, mixed up among different races and,
like flowers.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be boring if everybody looked exactly the same. Come on.
But, so having a human body, at least right now, subjects you to pain, aging, injury, and death. Right? So these things are all really guaranteed. If you have a human body right now, you will have pain, you will have aging, you will have injury, and you will die. But this can all be changed, and it's going to be in the kingdom. It's been, spelled out that now in the kingdom, these bodies are not going. Well, during the millennial reign, there still will be a lifespan.
That's right.
But then at the end of the millennial reign, when the 8th day begins, so There's the white throne judgment. Let's go ahead and bring up this. Let's take a look at where this is. So there's the second resurrection, and this is of everybody, the wicked and the righteous. And so everybody's at the white throne judgment. And then after this, the false prophet is released, thrown into the lake of fire. Mm-hmm. This is when death is done away with. So after Judgment Day, after Satan's been released, and there's a group of people that will follow Satan when he's released. They're going to try to mount up an attack against Jerusalem, and then fire is going to come down from heaven. They're all going to be destroyed, and they're all going to be thrown in the lake of fire. And then it's at this point that death is done away with and is said to be no more. So all will have been released from hell. This is at the end of the Christ millennial reign. There is nobody left on earth. Everything is empty. Everyone is judged. And then those that rebel at that time are thrown into the lake of fire, and then death is no more. So all those that are wicked will die. They're going to be in hell. They're going to be in eternal torment. And all those that live beyond this point are going to live. There's going to be no more death at that point. But for a lot of people, during this Christ millennial reign here, right, a lot of people probably have had the expectation that there would not be any more death during this reign. And what we're seeing from the scriptures is that there still are lifespans during this time period, but also that there would be marriage and the having of children as well. So this would be a parallel to that first day that the generation from Adam to Noah, right?
The first 1,000 years.
The first 1,000 years.
Okay.
This 1,000 years is going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's right. But without the destruction of all the oppressors, all of the wicked, all those that, make things, really tough on people here.
Mm-hmm. The cleansing of the earth. So there is a the sheep from the goats separation. All right. So the sheep from the goats separation is for getting into Christ's millennial reign. And there is the first resurrection, where all those that have died in faith will come alive. But here, this first resurrection is the one that we were showing from the scriptures. The people that are resurrected are going to have angel-like bodies. So there is a group that never dies, and that is the group that makes it through the Great Tribulation. So the two witnesses die mid-tribulation. The woman gives birth to the son mid-tribulation here. The remnant flees to the wilderness. This is when the dragon pursues the remnant. Then there's this second half of the Great Tribulation here. And then that remnant that fleed to the wilderness, those that are alive and remain, meet Christ in the clouds. This is, the scripture that all the rapture people really are focused on. But it is those that have made it through the Great Tribulation here with protection. So the Great Tribulation takes place on earth. It's not in heaven. So the protection is here on earth, not in heaven. But then there is this catching up moment at the end when Christ comes on the clouds. And this is where the final cleansing of earth takes place. This is everybody that's still alive in the Great Tribulation other than this remnant.
Sorry, second last cleansing.
So yeah, everybody that's still alive during this time period that are the good and the righteous, they're going to be protected right here. And then they're going to come back. All right. And so this is from the group right here that I would expect these people to be the ones that continue with marriage and procreation. All right. Because the ones that do die during the Great Tribulation and have died in the past before, They are what we would call the tribulation saints. So blessed are the dead that die in Christ, right here. So when the Great Tribulation begins, those that die, they're blessed. They get crowns. It's a good thing. But it does look like those that come back in the first resurrection do come back with angel-like bodies, as opposed to the natural bodies that we have right now.
But yeah, everybody else comes in through birth, childbirth. You got reincarnators, and then you'll have a group of angels.
Yeah, so I've got more slides to make, such as these. And what I want to do is with these slides, I want to put them into an end times eschatology graphic that really charts the path for these groups, where as a natural human, if you survive through the Great Tribulation, then you could be a procreator. But if you do die during the Great Tribulation, it looks like you will have an angel body, and so on and so forth. And there's the whole topic of reincarnation. And so those that would be procreating during the millennial reign, each one of those births is the opportunity for another spirit to get in and enjoy the kingdom, right? So there's so much more to go into. We've just scratched the surface, and it's complicated, and everything that we go to look at on the topic is just filled with lies and misinformation, because they're either trying to support a rapture doctrine, or they're trying to support that everything takes place in heaven, and they totally skip what takes place here on earth. So we're trying to sift that all out of the scriptures and put it together for you all, so that it's just something to set our expectations on, so that we don't get disappointed.
Yeah, we got to find out what the truth is, what it says, what it's going to be fulfilled, and follow it as best we can.
Absolutely. All right. Was there anything else that you want to add to this tonight, brother?
No, I think this was pretty good, and I look forward to, researching and finding out more. And, as everyone tuning in, we always got to continue to ask Yahawashai to show us the truth. And we really, really need the hearts of many to be turned to the truth. And we just beg, every day I beg, and I hope you're on the other side of the screen begging too, that more people have their hearts turned to the truth, because it's such a small number right now. I'd like to see more people.
We pushed the calendar out another year, so we do have this next year to really grow a core group of people that do care about the truth, and expand our relationships within that core group of people. So I think one of the things that I would like to do as we move on here is, because as a group grows, the interpersonal relationships, usually at some point there'll be some sort of an ego conflict that'll arise that becomes like a poison in the group. And so one of the things that I could see doing is sort of a project regarding defeating the ego, that I sort of want to make sort of like a side ministry, that I'll go into more detail on what is involved in defeating the ego, why you would be interested in defeating the ego. I'll give you a quick spoiler. It's necessary in order for people to get together in close relationships without hurting each other's feelings. So that's really the main reason why I'd want to go into this topic of defeating the ego. But for those that are interested in getting into a closer and closer communication, I've seen the need for us to sort of all approach that topic and try to work on it individually, just to avoid conflicts and to be able to get together in love and peace as a group of brothers and sisters. So I see that as a project that's going to help fill my time during the next part of the year.
Yeah, it's got to be done every day. Defeating the ego is an everyday thing. And yeah, people need to learn. We all got to work hard at it. And I look forward to that. It'll be great. And anybody else that wants to participate in that, please speak up, leave a comment below, get in touch with Jason or I. We're on Zoom, we're on here, you know, where we can be found. Who wants to get involved, who wants to learn? Now's the time, you know?
That's it. Well, I that's all I got for tonight, brother.
Great job, man. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. You're only going to hear this on the Yahawashai News Networks.